So it's finally that time. We're heading into 2026. I'm now heading into my third year of being invested in the stock market, and I can tell you I've learned so much this year about investing. I can definitely tell you that one of the main things that I learned is if you're trying to maximize portfolio strength and portfolio return, it is much deeper than just buying the most hyped up name in the most hyped sector. For example, Nvidia is probably the most talked about stock right now, which I love and I think is a great investment, which I personally hold in my portfolio, actually one of my biggest holdings. However, there's much more to it than just buying that and leaving it. I'm going to tell you guys the top 3 sectors I'm focused on buying going into 2026 with my long-term investment portfolio. And I'll be sure to make sure that I'm very clear on the why and give you guys one stock example that I'm going to be buying in that sector. So, as a growth-focused investor, the first sector I'm going to be focused on buying is AI ecosystem. That's not just general AI. Everybody know that AI is a huge trend right now. It's grown massively over the past few years, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. However, the mistake that many basic investors make is they only focus on the AI models, the software, the chatbots. Nvidia is a great example here. These stocks are all great. I love them and I hold them in my portfolio. However, there's much more that goes on behind the scenes that doesn't get as much attention. I'm talking about the infrastructure behind AI, the companies that AI can literally not exist without. One of the top stocks under the AI infrastructure sector that I'm going to talk about in this video is ASML. Most average investors have never heard of this company, unlike Nvidia. So pretty much in short, just to describe what this company does, they pretty much just have a monopoly of machines that creates advanced semiconductors. Now, why is this so important? Without ASML's technology, there are no advanced AI chips. No Nvidia GPUs, no AMD chips, no custom chips from Google, Microsoft, whatever you can think of. Every time AI demand increases, it's not just benefiting the main companies we know, like Nvidia, AMD, and so on. The companies behind it creating the infrastructure, such as ASML, are also going to benefit from that. What I really like about ASML is no matter what AI company wins, ASML is going to benefit. Whether Nvidia, AMD, or whatever AI company you can think of is winning, ASML is going to benefit. So let me not forget to mention, compared to other AI stocks, it's trading much below sector average. That's pretty much the main reason why I like AI ecosystem stocks over the regular hype names going into 2026. Now, the next sector, kind of breaking off from what we just talked about that I'm focusing on, is AI, power, and energy. AI does not need chips to succeed. It needs electricity and a lot of it to succeed. Data centers which are running AI models need a ton of energy. As AI is growing, one of the biggest constraints that people are worried about is if we're going to have enough energy. If AI is going to succeed, energy is going to need to succeed as well. Into these next few years, as AI continues to grow massively, reliable power is going to be extremely important. The top stock I'm watching going into 2026 for this sector is going to be Constellation Energy. This is the largest nuclear power operator in the entire United States. And pretty much nuclear power is just super important because it provides consistent power no matter what the sun or the wind is doing. Having this be so reliable, this is exactly what AI data centers are going to need. They cannot afford outages or any imminent problems. As these major AI companies continue to grow, energy is going to need to succeed. And having this being the top nuclear power stock, I'm going with this company. Now, if we go back to the beginning of the video, the main 2 things that I said are most important in my portfolio are portfolio returns and secondly, portfolio strength. Obviously, I'm heavily growth focused as I've been talking about the whole video, but I do also want to still be pretty growth focused but have some protection. That is where my third sector is going to come in, and I think it's the perfect time to add it going into 2026 after the past few years, value. Value stocks give you stability when the market's getting volatile, cash flow, and just overall some downside protection. Stock that I'm going to be adding to my portfolio this year, which I do not hold, but definitely I'm going to build a decent position in, is Berkshire Hathaway. If you aren't familiar with this company, it's Warren Buffett's. He is stepping down this year. However, he's keeping, I believe it's like his 20% stake of the entire company, which I strongly believe that if he really thought that the company was in trouble, he would not do that and he would just liquidate his position. But I just really trust in the leadership of the company. Also, on top of that, they've historically outperformed the S&P year over year, and they're sitting on a ton of cash, which is very good at the high valuations we're sitting on with this market. Also, I don't even think there's an argument against this, that Berkshire is pretty much just an ETF, even though it's an individual stock. Historically, after we see huge years of growth, like we've seen over the past few years with the S&P doing 20% over the last 2, and this year I believe we're around 15, value tends to catch up at least to some degree. And out of all the value stocks out there, I think Berkshire is the main one that I trust my money in. I just like how the stock gives me a nice amount of diversification, not having me just in tech stock. Then at the same time, there's decent upside and protection on the downside. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. If this video helped you, make sure you drop a like and hit the subscribe button. If you want to see all my research and everything I'm doing with my portfolio, make sure you guys join the Discord group. I'll put the link below.